challenges. So I'm not going to present any research data because this is a very diverse audience. This is generalized talk. Creation or modification of any product or process for the benefit of humankind, and it can address the sustainable biotechnology, sustainable SDGs of zero hunger, clean technology, green technology, health in the health SDG 13, and the climate change. So the relationship between development and sustainability is quite complex, and it requires a nuanced approach that can balance economic growth as well as environment protection. So there are, some countries are already working towards by using this approach. So when we talk about biotechnology market, the current market value, the global current market value of biotechnology is more than $7 to $9 billion. And when we talk about Indian biotechnology industry, it has been raised to more than 130 billion USDs from only 10 billion USDs in 2014. So the biotechnology can be applied in the field of agriculture, environment, medicines, and industries. So when we talk about sustainable agriculture practices, the biotechnology can be used for crop improvement in terms of increased crop yield, development of climate resilient crop plants, improved nutritional value, as well as Professor Selva said, reduced use of pesticide using biofertilizer and biopesticides. So in this era of climate change, the crops are currently exposing to different stresses, abiotic and biotic stresses. And to achieve the zero hunger goal, the world we need to produce 15 to 20% more food, and this can be done by using modern tools and techniques of modern biotechnology. These are some agriculture biotech startups which are working in the area of crop improvement. Even they are working for the development of climate resilient crops, as well as the photosynthetic efficiency was also increased by using some genetic engineering. This is a recent breakthrough. We all know about CRISPR-Cas mediated genome editing for sustainable agriculture. It can be used to enhance the yield, nutritional quality, as well as development of several kinds of abiotic and biotic substances. And you can see it has been applied to various crops, including maize and rice. And you can see such a beautiful flower engineering by, this is a recent report, it has been released in this August only. Flower engineering. You can see beautiful petals developed by using this technology. So in India, the ICAR has been successfully released the 2 genome edited rice varieties, which has shown the significant increase in the yield as well as tolerance to several kinds of abiotic stresses. So in my study, our group was working for the expression of some genes, that is rice stress associated protein, that has been expressed in rice. We have expressed this in rice, Arabidopsis, and tobacco, and we this gene conferred abiotic stress tolerance as well as tolerance for biotic stress also. And at my university at Jodhpur, I am working on functional genomics of arid region plants such as corn millet and some zero halophytes. And by using integrated omics approaches, I have identified some lower stress related genes, and now I am trying to incorporate those genes in some crop plants to develop climate resilience in those plants. So when we talk about sustainable healthcare, the biotechnology can be used for drug discovery, development, personalized medicines diagnostic, and regenerative medicines using stem cell therapy. These are some breakthroughs. We all know the insulin that is available in the market. We use that is recombinant insulin that was produced in bacteria. So this was a major breakthrough. And the development of mRNA COVID vaccines, precision medicines using gene therapy and gene editing. You can target some gene to cure specifically some disease, and you can edit that gene to change that mutation. Even plants can also be used for production of some pharmaceutical proteins such as vaccine, etc. In my study, there are several studies which has reported the production of some pharmaceutical proteins in various kind of plants, such as edible vaccines against cholera toxin, hepatitis B. The first recombinant protein produced in plant was human glucocerebrosidase, which was produced in carrot cell suspension culture, and even some groups, some French groups are trying to develop edible vaccine against COVID virus also. So in my study during my PhD, I have expressed a therapeutic human serum protein, that is alpha-1 antitrypsin, in the transgenic tomato plants, and I have purified that protein from that plant, and I have engineered that protein for enhanced activity also and enhanced stability, and we have tried this in my system also. The biotechnology can also be used for sustainable environment, such as sustainable environment in manufacturing, such as bioremediation, bioenergy, waste management, bioplastic, industrial biotechnologies, and it is also needed for circular economy. There are some examples. This bioremediation is the cleaning of the pollutants from the contaminated soil, air or water, and you can use some bacteria, some lower plants, even some higher plants to remediate that soil. Even nano biotechnology can also be used for bioremediation. The bioplastic is used for the circular economy, and there are several plants such as soybean and corn that can be used to produce bioplastic, and you can see a Goodyear tire has been produced by using bioplastic. And recently, Norway found a bacteria that eats plastic. This is a recent report. So it is having some enzyme that degrade the plastic. So some plants can be used, such as sugarcane, corn, etc., to produce biofuels, biodiesel, bioethanol. And some bacteria can degrade the agricultural, industrial, and municipal waste, and they can produce some minerals that can be beneficial to industry. That is bioleaching. The integration of these recent emerging approaches, bioinformatics, AI, and machine learning, robotics, and nanotechnology has been accelerating the use of biotechnology. There are some challenges in biotechnology, such as economic barriers, high cost, ethical and social issues. So this is our strength. India is ranked among the top 12 biotech destinations. It is ranking third in Asia. And we are having more than 10,000 startups, biotech startups. These are some future directions and recommendations. We need to focus on prioritizing research funding towards the biotechnology research, fostering collaboration among academic, industry, and government, public awareness, and policy. There should be some supportive policy for responsible deployment of biotechnology. GBT, Department of Biotechnology, is working in this area. And recently, GBT, the cabinet has approved a bioequity policy. Some people must be aware about that. That is aimed to fostering high performance biomanufacturing by establishing some bio AI hubs and biofoundries. BioRec is another initiative of GBT that is supported more than 3,500 startups. These are some success stories of bioequity, production of bioresin, bioleather, etc. And these are some policy recommendations. So there are so many, but I would like to emphasize on updation of the previous guidelines for using genetically modified organisms, so that in support of biotechnology used for sustainable agriculture, and there is a need to promoting research and development in states also. The state universities are usually they are lacking infrastructure and lack of funds, and there should be some mission mode projects that can integrate the biotechnology and the recent emerging technologies such as AI, functional genomics. Thank you.